When a game takes 13 years to be released, of course it's not going to live up to the hype. And people will call this psychological, but it's not entirely. In fact, it's mostly an issue of technology. Go back in time 13 years. GoldenEye just came out and changed the FPS genre forever. A year later we saw the release of Half-Life, which set the standard for a good single-player FPS experience. Now, how much of any early Duke Nukem Forever gameplay could have been carried over after all these years? I don't usually bring up graphics because they don't usually make a game better or worse, but the key here is dated. Duke Nukem Forever graphics at one time would have been cutting edge, but then the game was delayed further and further. The load times, however, are dated and game-breaking. Relatively short levels are split up sometimes into as many as 4 segments, each with several minutes of loading. Then when you die, you have to load the game again. I can't remember the last game I played with load times this bad. Even if Duke Nukem Forever couldn't have been amazing, all it really needed to be is an homage to classic Duke Nukem with old guns and enemies. For the majority of the game, that's exactly what it is. The old school weapons work very well, and it's always satisfying to see enemies explode. But when it doesn't feel like classic Duke Nukem, it just feels dull. There are many parts in the game where you walk around empty corridors, and while Duke isn't afraid to repeat the same one-liners while fighting, during cutscenes he is completely silent. Now, this isn't Half-Life. It's completely inappropriate to have Duke taking abuse from others without getting a word in edgewise. Here's how an early scene should have been scripted.
I'm issuing you a direct order not to engage in hostile interaction.
Blow it out your ass.
This is effective immediately.
I'll rip your head off and shit down your leg.
Ruined by rash action.
I ought to break a broom handle off in your ass.
Week-long binge of horror and Holocaust you wreaked upon Los Angeles 12 years ago.
Shit happens. Now I'm really pissed off.
And for something they spend the last 2 years in particular developing, the multiplayer in this game is total garbage. Modern Warfare's noob tubes have nothing on Duke Nukem Forever. Rocket launchers can be fun in multiplayer games like this, but usually there has to be some sort of an option to play without rocket launchers, or else the first person to find one on the map is going to be the winner. And the only thing you get for leveling up is more virtual women. The hardest thing to say after 13 years is that, with a little more polish, Duke Nukem Forever could have been an underrated gem. But as it is, it deserves a 2 out of 5, and is well worth ignoring.